What if I told you that a single video podcast episode has the ability to 3 times your visibility? I know that sounds insane, but this is something that I've been doing for the past year in my business. My website traffic is up by 138%, and I've also gone full-time in my business during this time frame. All you need is a system, and in this video, I want to teach you my repurposing system that allows me to create a blog, an email, even social media if I wanted to. You guys already know I'm not that crazy about social media. And truly anything else that you can think of, you can repurpose from just one video podcast episode per week. If you had the opportunity to just create one piece of content per week and you allowed it to power everything else that you do in terms of marketing for your business, would you do it? I know I certainly would, because I want to reach people where they're at, but I don't necessarily want to put in more effort in order to reach them. So if you relate to that, you feel the exact same way, this video is for you. Welcome to my channel where I teach you how to get real results from your self-produced podcast without it taking up all of your precious time. My name is Liz Manuel. I'm a 6-year photographer turned content strategist and producer, and I have gone full time in my business producing podcasts for my clients. And I'm here to teach you everything I'm learning along the way. I have something so exciting coming down the pipeline in less than a month that I'm so excited to tell you guys about, a workshop that I'm running on the 1st of December called the Solo Podcast Producer Workshop. It is an introductory version to my program that I am also launching on the same day, where I'm going to teach you exactly how to produce your own podcast in 10 hours a month. It is what I do. It is what I teach my clients, and I would love to help you do the same. So if you are interested in learning more, the link is in the description. So let's get into my repurposing system that allows one video podcast episode to be the driver of the rest of your business's marketing efforts. I want you to first understand the foundational content strategy underneath everything, right? The reason I want you to understand this is so that you know exactly what content is meant to be seen by what people at what time, even when you're repurposing. So you're aware of what content piece is doing what, and so on and so forth. My strategy is based in a problem solution storyline. So instead of content pillars, I use problem and solution pillars. You might be thinking, well, okay, Liz, but I only really have one solution in my business. That is correct. There really should not be more than 1 to 3 solutions that your business offers. Whether you offer more specific things, like if you're a gardener, maybe you offer a PDF on how to grow herbs from seed, but then you also have a DIY guide for beginners. These are 2 different solutions and should be seen as such. But overall, your whole business probably has one major solution, and you can get as granular in your solutions as you'd like, but not to the point where it's too confusing. So I say having 1 to 3 solutions for your business is pretty typical, but you're always going to have granular problems associated with even one solution. This is where you go deep, and you think about, okay, if I have this problem, what other problem do I have? And if I have that problem, what other problem do I have? You want to reach people where they're at in terms of the problem, and then you're basically going to lead them to the solution over 4 to 5 content pieces. So essentially, you think about 4 to 5 content pieces, you think about the fact that I say 1 piece of content per week. This is a monthly storyline that you are telling people through your content how to get from A to B. And what you're essentially doing is you're just tying that one problem to one solution. And because you're going to have granular problems, there's going to be many other storylines for you to tell over the course of other months. Now, these 4 to 5 content pieces are not just any content pieces. They are aligned with the buyer stages. That is why my content strategy is evergreen. It is based in a business model, meaning we are doing business here. We are not content creators trying to just align with the next trend of whatever content strategy is out there. We are basing this in business, okay? So what you're doing through these 4 to 5 content pieces is you are framing the first 2 videos as your problem-aware stage, the next 2 videos as a consideration stage, right? They're a little bit warmer. They're getting to know that, hey, you just identified the problem I'm dealing with. Now I'm considering you as the solution. And lastly, the conversion stage, which is essentially pitching your offer in a content piece. And that is why there is only 1 conversion stage piece of content, and that 1 piece of content is what all the other pieces of content are going to lead to. The thing that makes this content strategy super unique is the fact that we are speaking to people exactly where they're at. So you're dealing with a problem. That is what the problem-aware stage pieces of content are meant for. These are the more broad topics versus the consideration stage that you're going to reach more people with, okay? The consideration stage is essentially going to be where you shine a light on your expertise, your authority, why you might be the best solution for them. And then, of course, the consideration stage is really about emphasizing the life after your solution to them, the life improvement, the inspiration, what has happened since you've implemented this solution or since your clients have implemented this solution. So now that you understand the content strategy, let's dive into the repurposing system that I use to 3 to 4 times my visibility in my business. The very first thing that I want to make sure you guys have in this process, if you are going to adopt this system, is you need to have a transcript version of your weekly video podcast episode or your weekly podcast episode. What this allows us to do is have the version of what we authentically say, right? So you are probably either scripting your videos or you're kind of using like a key point indicator to then speak freely on a key point that you're talking about in your videos. That is exactly what I do, and it's actually what I recommend. And because you're speaking authentically, we need a transcript of this authentic to you written version of what you say so that we can repurpose this content into different formats. So what is an easy way to do this? Well, you guys know, if you are watchers of my channel, you know that I am obsessed with Descript. It is the video editing, recording, and transcription software that I use. It literally has everything in one. You can get it as cheap as $16 per month. They do have a free version if you wanted to try it out, but you are most likely going to need to get the minimum plan, which is $16 a month. It's called Hobbyist, if you want to do this consistently. It allows you to not only record yourself into a file, but it will immediately start to transcribe your video, no matter if you upload it to Descript, if you record into Descript. The moment you click stop, it will start to transcribe what you just said. And it's actually pretty good at determining what words. I would say it's 98% accurate. So that is what I use. I know there are probably other things that you can do, like internet-based softwares that you can maybe upload a video and get the transcription. I simply just use Descript because I'm already doing video recording and such, and it is just the easiest and most approachable way to do this, I believe, as a business owner. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do after you have this transcript of your video is you're going to want to create your hyper authentic AI prompts to prompt this transcription turning into an email, a blog, and whatever else you'd like. Again, you can absolutely make social media content out of your long form piece of content, but I actually recommend doing that in a different way, which I will talk about in the next step. But the 2 major elements that I highly recommend, and I do not recommend that you miss these 2, is your email and your blog, repurposing your content to those 2 channels. So why email? Email has the highest conversion rate of all channels that you can sell through. It is your warmest audience. They have gotten on your email list from you providing value. They are the people that are going to be the most interested in what you have to say about any topic relating to what you help them with initially. And better yet, if you got your email subscribers from your YouTube channel, maybe you offered them a free lead magnet, maybe you offered them something else that got them on your email list, they're always going to be interested in your videos because that's how they initially found you. Email is also the best place to sell your offers. So you want to get as much people on your email list as possible to not only provide that value, but in tandem of providing that value, offer them what you have in terms of service, product, etc. So why do we repurpose to a blog? For 2 reasons. Number 1, we don't know what's going to happen to these social media platforms, okay? If YouTube decided to shut down, we all essentially don't have any say in what happens to our content because it lives on the platform, right? If you have a website, I highly recommend that you repurpose your video content into a blog format so that you always have this information on your own platform and you can drive people to this blog that links out to the YouTube video from your email. I hope that makes sense. So essentially, you write a blog, you make an AI prompt that allows your transcript to turn into a blog that's hyper authentic to how you sound. You link out to this blog from your email when you talk about the content that you're speaking about, after you've talked through kind of the concept of the video in written form in this email, you link out to that blog, and on that blog is where you have maybe another link out to your YouTube video. That way, people can go to your website before anything else. You'll get that traffic to your website before they go out to YouTube to watch the video. This is exactly what I do, and it again has allowed me to see an increase in my traffic by 140% over the past year. Okay, so let's talk about this social media content repurposing strategy that I talked about in the last step. So instead of repurposing your video transcript to an AI social media content strategy, what I actually recommend is you take the blog that you created with AI and you then use the headlines in your blog as social media content pieces. Why do I recommend it this way? I think when you have a blog that is in complete alignment with how you sounded in the video, which is exactly a really great point to say that you should always in these prompts, make sure that you're saying, I want this to sound authentically like me. I was the one speaking in this video, etc., etc., etc. When you turn this into a blog, it is so easy to see visually the major talking points that you talk through. If they all have variance and they all are providing deeper and deeper insight into what you're saying, that can be a week's worth of content, right? If you had 3 major key points in your long form video, which is definitely a great way to start with your blogs, is having 3 major key points, you then can turn that into 3 different social media content pieces since they are short and they all lead to this one bigger message, which is the last point I'll make about this social media content repurposing, is you should always, always, always in your social media content be calling to action at the end. Hey, if you want to learn more, if you want to learn more about this topic, if you want to see me talk about the other things that I didn't get to mention here, go to my long form piece of content, right? And drive them to either your YouTube channel, your blog, or wherever this long form piece of content lives. Social media, I always see as like the very, very top of funnel. It's similar to YouTube in that sense, although YouTube to me feels like it's your warmest, most top of funnel audience, meaning you're going to reach the most people because you're on a social media site. But if people are watching your videos beyond 10 minutes, that is amazing. That means that they are building trust and they are essentially warming up to you as the solution to their problem. Okay, so how do you actually set this up to go live? What does that really look like? So what I recommend is that you schedule out your video podcast episode to go out around 7 a.m. on the day that it goes live. You can do some more tactical looking into this if you have the insights on your YouTube studio analytics to see when your subscribers are more active online. But what I recommend is doing it in the morning so that it's all done and you can get the views throughout the day, right? If you publish this video at 7 a.m., what I recommend is that you make this blog and email go live at 8 a.m. That means your email subscribers are going to be one of the first people to see that this video went live. And they are going to be the most likely to click on it. And therefore, it's going to indicate to YouTube that, hey, people are watching this video. It's returning people who have watched it before. It's going to push it out to more people like that. You're basically looping into YouTube, hey, these people have watched me before, they're watching me again, they have these interests. It's going to push it out to more people with the same interests, dealing with the same problems, wanting the same solution. This blog going live at the same time that the email gets sent out is only going to help you because you're linking your YouTube video out through a blog. You're not linking it out directly in the email. You want people to go to your website first to then be linked out to YouTube. And what that does is it just indicates, okay, you're getting website traffic. These are returning people who want to consistently see this blog, and then you're getting more views on your blog. It's only indicating good things on your website and will ultimately help you show up more in search. Okay, so you're probably wondering at this point, when am I doing this whole process? Like, this sounds like hours worth, even 2 hours worth of a process. When am I supposed to be doing this? I have a time management system. I have a monthly schedule, a weekly schedule that works with most busy entrepreneurs' schedules. I know this from working with small businesses, solopreneurs, crafters, creatives over the past 7 years as a photographer and now a content strategist. I've been in marketing for 7 years. I know what it feels like and looks like to be busy. So what I've created in not only my course, but what you will learn if you join the workshop is these 2 main schedules. There's a monthly schedule and a weekly schedule. You are always going to get a bonus day or a bonus week, depending on what schedule that you choose. And during this bonus day is where I highly recommend you dedicate to repurposing. There is sustainability involved in this whole process because I do give you these bonus days, but this process of repurposing only has to take a half hour of your time, especially if you have the prompts that you need. You only need to edit a few things because your prompts are really highly authentic to you. They're working for you. They're making everything sound exactly like you. And so that is what I would recommend in terms of when you do this. Either dedicate it to Fridays on your bonus day or the last week of the month, which is your bonus week. So if you're like, Liz, what are you talking about? Where can I see this whole plan in action? In last week's video, I talk all about how I never wanted to go viral and the actual system that I now do in order to keep things consistent, sustainable, and in a way that I don't have to consistently create content in order to stay relevant. And in that video, I actually share the prompts that I use to create this blog, create this email that I'm talking about. I share them on the screen for you in that video. So if you are interested in learning more, you want to know exactly what I say, exactly how I format these prompts, I highly urge you to go check out that video. And again, don't miss out on this workshop on December 1st. It is going to be so valuable for you to learn exactly how to self-produce your own video podcast. It sounds highly technical, but it is not technical. I teach you how to edit, publish, create, plan your podcast so that it drives everything else in your business. And I cannot wait for you to see this solution because it is going to simplify everything you do. So if you are interested in learning about that more, I have a page that you can go to linked below called the Solo Podcast Producer Workshop. It's going to tell you more about what is included in that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.